In the heart of the Niger Delta, where the rivers wound like veins through the thick mangrove forests, a young boy named Jubo Juboga was sold into slavery. Born in the Igbo hinterlands, he was taken to the coastal Boni kingdom, where he displayed an intelligence and resilience that would define his life. He learned the ways of the bustling port city, mastered trade negotiations, and gained favor among the merchants. By sheer will and cunning, Jubo, who would later be known as Jaja, rose from slavery to become the head of the Ana People House, one of the most powerful trading factions in Boni. As his influence grew, so did his ambition. He sought to free his people from the dominance of the Boni aristocracy, who controlled the palm oil trade with European merchants. Jaja understood that true power lay in independence, and when internal conflicts threatened his leadership, he led his people in a daring exodus, establishing the independent kingdom of Opobo in 1869. Jaja's kingdom thrived. Positioned at the crossroads of trade, Opobo became a dominant force in the palm oil economy. Jaja, now recognized as king, directly negotiated with British merchants, ensuring fair prices for his people and keeping European interference at bay. The British, who were used to dealing with subservient African leaders, were both impressed and wary of this king who dictated terms on his own land. He fortified his city with wealth and diplomacy, creating an intricate network of alliances. He sent emissaries to neighboring communities, thus strengthening his influence. Opobo became a beacon of African self-determination, a kingdom where its people dictated their own destiny, free from foreign control. Jaja married and had children, ensuring that his lineage would carry on his legacy. His family lived in grandeur befitting a king, but he also taught them the values of perseverance, wisdom, and loyalty. He trained his sons in the art of leadership and trade, preparing them to take the mantle should he ever fall. His queen was a trusted advisor, standing by his side as he navigated the delicate balance of power between his kingdom and the foreign invaders. But the European powers were growing restless. The British, expanding their colonial reach, saw Jaja as an obstacle. His refusal to allow them unrestricted access to Opobo's wealth put him at odds with the colonial government. The year 1887 brought deceit to Jaja's doorstep. British officials invited him aboard a ship under the guise of diplomatic discussions. Trusting their word, Jaja stepped onto the HMS Goshawk, unaware that it would be his last time seeing his homeland. Once aboard, he was informed that he was under arrest for obstructing free trade, a crime in the eyes of the British Empire. The ship set sail, taking him far from the rivers of Opobo. He was exiled first to Accra, Ghana, and later to the remote island of St. Vincent in the West Indies. The kingdom he had built was left vulnerable, its people leaderless, and its independence threatened. His family, left behind, faced great trials. His queen struggled to hold together the kingdom in his absence, negotiating with both allies and enemies. His sons grew up with the burden of their father's exile, forced to learn leadership in the shadow of British rule. The British imposed heavy restrictions on trade, crippling Opobo's economy. Yet, the people resisted, refusing to forget the king who had once led them to greatness. In the foreign lands of exile, Jaja's mind never left Opobo. The warm breeze of St. Vincent's shores could never replace the humid winds of the Niger Delta. He wrote letters to the British authorities, pleading his case, demanding justice. He also sought to keep his family informed, sending messages in hopes that they would find a way to survive and endure. Years passed, and though his health waned, his spirit never broke. He met other exiled leaders, learned the stories of those who had suffered similar fates under colonial rule, and plotted ways to regain his throne. Despite the odds, he maintained hope that he would one day return to his people. Finally, after 4 years in exile, in 1891, the British allowed him to return, but fate had other plans. Jaja fell ill on the journey and never saw Opobo again. He died at sea, his body a testament to the cruelty of colonial betrayal. Though the British sought to erase his influence, Jaja's legacy endured. Opobo remained a symbol of African resilience, its people carrying the memory of their exiled king. His children, though devastated by his loss, continued to honor his name, working tirelessly to preserve the kingdom he had built. His queen, heartbroken but determined, ensured that his story would not be forgotten. Jaja's story became one of defiance against colonial oppression, a reminder that true leaders fight for their people, even in the face of treachery. His name lived on in the oral traditions, in the hearts of those who knew that once a man who was born a slave had risen to defy an empire. Decades later, historians and activists revisited his story, recognizing him as a pioneer of African resistance. Statues were erected in his honor, and his name became synonymous with the struggle for independence. Jaja of Opobo's tale remains a powerful testament to the strength of the human spirit, a story of a man who fought, endured, and, though betrayed, never truly lost. His legacy continues to inspire generations to stand against oppression and to fight for their right to self-determination. Back in Opobo, Jaja's family struggled to maintain their hold on the kingdom. His queen, in a bid to keep her people united, faced numerous challenges from rival factions eager to exploit the king's absence. His sons, though young, had to mature quickly to navigate the treacherous political landscape. The British, sensing an opportunity, increased their influence and pressured Opobo into submission. Yet, Jaja's family and loyal supporters resisted with every ounce of strength they had left. Despite the growing British control, many in Opobo continued to resist colonial rule. Some of Jaja's former allies banded together, forming underground movements to fight against foreign dominance. Though many of their efforts were met with force, the seeds of rebellion had been planted. The spirit of Jaja lived on in the hearts of those who longed for true independence. Over time, Opobo remained a beacon of defiance, its people refusing to let their history be erased. As the years passed, the world changed, and Africa's fight for freedom gained momentum. The legacy of Jaja of Opobo became an inspiration for future independence movements. His name was spoken in hushed reverence, a symbol of resistance and resilience. When Nigeria gained independence in 1960, Jaja's descendants stood tall, knowing that their ancestors' fight had not been in vain. His legacy was etched into history, a testament to the power of determination and the unbreakable will of a people who refuse to be silenced. Thank you for watching till the end. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more African stories.